Hello friends, this is Varsha Jain representing Away Education. In today's video, we will be briefing you about a very important factor, which is how to write a statement of purpose. Why it is such an important document, what it all makes it up to, why it is important for a university to know and have a very strong understanding of the subject line, what all pointers we need to keep in mind while we are drafting it, and of course, how do we really write it. Please stay with us in order to understand all these pointers one by one in today's video. SOP is briefly known as Statement of Purpose, or at times we call it as a Statement of Explanation also. What it makes it up of? It is a brief explanation about your course, about your academics, about your interest, or maybe some sort of internships that you must have gone through, some sort of industry placements that you must have represented so far. Maybe you are on the way of writing some sort of research projects which may be unpublished, but that's absolutely fine. Also in terms of some state competitions, representations that you must have done. Maybe you have added certain set of certifications to your profile. If you are from an IT background, you may be doing a lot of clubs, lot of Toastmasters, lot of exercises like that. So whatever it comes, it has to be written in a well-disciplined manner so that whether a university or at a later stage a High Commission officer gets to know who you are. Please understand one thing here, we do not really have a chance or an opportunity to be present everywhere. So for that matter, if you are doing an application, a course leader may not really know about who you are as a personality. So I think this is a very fair chance for you to represent, for you to inform, for you to tell them that who you are and why you should be considered for a particular institution or maybe for a particular program, and in more specific for a certain set of scholarship. Because scholarship really plays a very important role when it comes to an international funding, or maybe for an international student it really matters a lot. So if you are from a science background, please talk about the projects, talk about the research, talk about your interest into a particular domain, and that should be well represented. So that is what we call it as an SOP, and that is why it's extremely important. I guess the best way of doing it is please keep a updated CV with yourself. Whatever set of activities that you are doing, even if it is a book reading or maybe some sort of seminars that you are attending or maybe anything, whatever you are doing, please make sure that you're entering every single detail into your CV so that when you are writing a statement of purpose, it becomes much easy as a reckoner for you so that you can look into what set of activities you have done. Maybe you are an undergrad student who has started doing this journey right from class 9th or maybe 10th, and you may not really remember what all you have done. Similarly, if you are maybe a graduate, you must have done a lot of internships, you must have written a lot of projects, assignments. Please make a note of every single detail in your CV so that you start working and mentioning the same set of details in your SOP too. Also at the same time, start in a certain order, because say for example, introducing yourself is the most important factor. Who you are, what interest do you carry, so just write a small paragraph about it. In terms of the second pointer as a whole, so when it comes, just mention a brief summary about your academics. Maybe you're an academic scholar, maybe there are certain specific things that you have done for your society or maybe for a cultural activity within your institution. So please make sure to mention small 2 lines or maybe 3 lines about it. Once you are done with your introduction and your academics, the third point remains about your work experience or maybe some trainings or some internships if you have done. Once you have mentioned everything about it, maybe a certain project that you worked upon, what were your learnings, what were your outcomes of to that project, please move on to the next stage in terms of why have you chosen this particular program. How does this program really align to your area of interest as well? Maybe I'm somebody who has done computers, but now I want to get into analytics. So how does it really fall for a right place for me? So that placement of interest is very important. Of course, this statement of purpose depends and defines from a country to country and from a stage to stage. So if you are representing your applications from a US standpoint, you also need to mention that why are you going to this particular university. Talk about the professors, talk about the accreditations, talk about the certifications or maybe the kind of research which is already going on. So these are the factors that you really need to consider and that you really need to look into. Apart from that, once we are done with that, please talk about your GREs, your GMATs, or in case if you have taken up any English proficiency test also. Once that is also done, please conclude your statement that why do you really want to go for it, what career aspects, what career projections that you are looking at to do. That is how it gives a complete touch and feel of your aspirations, your interest, which is absolutely aligning with the institution also. I guess the first and the most important function or the feature that we need to look into is that which country are we going for? Are we going for US? Are we going to Canada? Or maybe are we planning it for Australia? Because the requirements as per the institution and the countries and the universities will differ big time. So please ensure to speak to your counselor to understand that what is the prerequisite of writing a SOP for that particular stage. I think the second thing, we should be very, very considerate about the word limit as a whole, because if there are certain countries or institutions wherein there will be a special focus on the word limit, some may say 600 words, 500 words, certain will talk about certain characters as a whole. So just be very sure about it. I guess try and avoid any set of information which does not belong to you, because we always mention what exactly who we are. Do not really add up things which you have not done in the past, or maybe just to make things look flurry, because ultimately these are all the skills that you will be required when you are even reaching the university as well. I guess the another important factor is, please, it is your statement, it is your journey, do not copy paste it. Do not really have a reference from the sample SOPs which is being given. Every word should belong to you, because there are a lot of places wherein the plagiarism will be a constant and an important factor, and the applications get really rejected big time, and it's an offense for you. So please ensure that whatever set of information that you are giving, it purely belongs to you and it has been coming from you itself. I guess these are the very, very important factors that we need to consider while we are drafting our SOP, and please ensure that we do not really fail or fall any of these pointers anywhere. So in case if you have any questions, any queries, you are stuck at any given point in time, please do reach out to us at the information given below, and we will be there to help you and assist you. Thank you so much.